Hi, Nancy Burt-Preece here, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I am casing a card from Karen Titus, Stampin' on the Back Porch, and I think it is so clever. It is based off of Scandinavian woven hearts. It is using the Lily of the Valley, the Valley and Bloom Sweet paper. I'm also using the Lily and Valley stamp set. And I'm using the Everyday Arches dies. Well, I'll tell you as we go along. Here we go. So I am using basic beige, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then I have two pieces. I started with this, but I'm kind of liking this one better. So I'm doing two pieces, which is 2 by 5 1/4, one on each. This is a garden green. This is the 5th smallest. And is there an extra one here? There is. The 5th smallest, and I'll show you how we're going to cut these, of the Arches dies. I have a 4 by 5 1/4 on the inside, because I thought it's a cute little happy birthday. May your day be filled with love, because you got a heart on the outside. And, of course, some Lily of the Valley. And I just stamped on a piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to show you how I like to punch. Some people punch out and try to stamp. I usually stamp first and then punch. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's start with our two arch dies that have been cut out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them together. And I'm going to push this way up, so hopefully you can see the bottom. I measured these. These are about 2 1/4 inches. So I'm going to go 1 1/8 at the very bottom. And I got a sense how far I wanted to go up. I just had to kind of play with it. And what I decided is that I really liked going up. So I'm putting this down, lining it up at 1 1/8. I'm going to use my black, and I like going up. It's really 2 1/4. But what I'm doing is from the bottom of my Stampin' Up! Trimmer, I'm going to the 11.5 or 10 1/4, however you want to read it. So I'm doing two at the same time. I'm going to go up right up to see where that line matches. And hopefully it cut through both. It did. So I can take my trimmer and put that to the side. Now I'm going to start with adhering the Designer Series paper, which again is 2 by 5 1/4. So I lined up the bottom one, not giving a ton of room at the bottom. And I didn't want to do too much because I really wanted the heart to be the one that is a focus of this card. I was debating putting like gems and, ribbon and, you can go crazy. But I decided not to. So this is a little bit crooked. So how do I do? Well, first of all, if I was smarter, I would have used my liquid glue. But I am going to pull this up because they're going to meet in the middle. And you notice I am not a person that can tolerate crooked. Some people are like, oh, it's fine. I can't, so I have to move it. That's just who I am. I have to move it up just a little bit. That looks better. And I could be using my grid paper, which would have been even smarter, but I didn't. Now, if you want the same amount, you can either leave a little tiny bit on the middle, which I might. So that, nope, I'm going to line it right back up. Don't you love how I do this right on camera? That way, if you make a mistake, you can go, oh, that lady, she did a bad job on that too. So it's like we're all human, right? So we're going to put this back. And I'm going to do a better job of getting that really flat. I'm going to take my bone folder and just kind of press it out. You can sometimes press out some of those wrinkles. Okay, so that looks much better. And then when that heart's on here, you're not going to notice. So now you're going to have to decide, do you want this part to go like that? Or do you want it to go like that? Which, I don't know. I guess it's the same amount as both. For some reason, I like the flower on that side. I don't know why. So I'm taking this underneath the flap. It's your basic weaving. This, I have to just kind of move it up a little bit. And that's going to go like that. Now, this is paper, so if you push on it really hard, yes, it will rip. Second thing is you just have to take a little bit of time. Just, the word is futz. You know how sometimes you just got to futz with it. And moving around. Let's move that down a little bit. Here's what I found when I was doing it. And I don't know if this is the best way to do it or not. So if anybody has greater ideas, please share. But what I did is I took a little bit of adhesive, I put it right down there. And then I moved this flush. So it was right down where I wanted it to be. I think that's pretty good. No, it's not quite perfect. Now I can turn it on the other side. Then I moved this one over, put a little bit of adhesive, and moved it up a little bit, pushed it over a little bit, just kind of worked it until I was happy with it. And like this one, I'm going to push in a little bit. And push that one in a little bit. And there we go. Like I say, it takes a little bit of futzing. If you're not a futzer, this might not be your favorite card, but it's just a little bit. If it's a teeny bit off, I'm really okay with that. If you look at this one, there's a teeny bit off too. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it up. And put a few pop dots on there. Don't, these are dimensionals. Put a few on there. Don't be stingy because you want this to really stick when you open your card. And I'm just picking off the dimensional papers. I tend to pick it off next to my garbage can right here in case you wonder why I always do that off camera. Okay, now I'm going to put that where I want it. Okay, so that's that. And hopefully you won't have, I would recommend using liquid glue on your paper, then you won't have those wrinkles. I'm going to come back through. I went ahead and I stamped in May Your Day Be Filled with Love and Happiness. I'm using Banner Saints. I'm using Lily of the Valley. And I'm using Phrases and Frames. I just like to give people a lot of opportunity. So I'm just going to come in and do the tops. Just to give them a pretty little pink there. Next, I'm going to come in with my Old Olive, the dark one, and kind of do the lines that Stampin' Up! Already did. They already helped you know how to color with your blends to get a really nice feel for them. See how that really blends and gives you some dark edges and some lighter parts? And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just gives you a little bit of interest in there. You can keep coloring till you're happy. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere that on the inside. This is your basic 4 by 5 1/4 white. Would I have to use white? No, I wouldn't. I do, but you don't have to. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come through. I like to stamp my sentiment first, turn my punch over, then I can line it up perfectly and punch. So that's how I like to do it. You don't have to do it that way. There is no wrong or right when you're using, but don't forget to turn your punch over because sometimes you can align things a lot easier. And I'm just going to put that happy birthday right there. And you've got this really neat heart card. If you come to my class, we're going to make this one. But I made this one first, but I didn't like the color papers as much as I like this one. So hopefully you will enjoy it and try it with some of your designer series paper. Have a great day.